It's showtime! Boogity, boogity, boogity! Ooh, let's go racing today, boys!
NASCAR headed west to Sonoma, a road course race, one of my favorite races of the season, and it ended up being a good one. Maybe not the most action-packed, caution-fest restarts, craziness of Sonoma that we've seen in the past, but a kind of a crescendo to the end of the race, which was really good. And not a lot of highlights either, to be honest. So let's talk about the race. I think we're going to talk mostly about the results and go through each driver and how their days went, because I think there are certain drivers I definitely want to talk about, and certain just points of the race. I think just the way the race played out, it was just a solid road course race. It was nice to be able to watch a NASCAR race and enjoy the talent behind the wheel and understand how difficult what these guys do, how difficult it is, the respect for it, and just seeing the drivers work super hard. So we don't get that every week anymore, and so that it was really nice to see that, at least for me. So I had a appreciation for it, much better than the F1 race this morning, because my God, that French Grand Prix was really boring. I think a lot of F1 fans will tell you that as well. So let's start at the beginning of the race and let's talk about one driver in particular, William Byron. He dominated the first stage completely. He led all 20 laps. He pulled away to a 6-second lead on his teammate Chase Elliott. Truex Jr. came from a little bit deeper in the field, but showed he had a long run car and was going to be able to be a competitor in the race. But William Byron, and this is something, this is a debate amongst a lot of fans about, do stages work at road courses? It's because people just manipulate the way the stage is going to come out. You know that the caution is going to come out, so you just pit beforehand, and then it leads to this kind of strategy play. I've been on both sides of the fence with this. On one hand, I like that you give the crew chief an option. Like, hey, if you want to go win the stage, all right, go win the stage. But if you want to win the race, pit before and win the race. So it gives a strategy. It gives an added strategy to it. However, when you watch the older road course races, let's say if we just had Sonoma 90 laps straight, you also had 2-stop or 3-stop strategies, and the way cautions would play during the race would manipulate the strategy at any time. So the entire race was important because from the beginning you want to run it backwards, and you don't know when the caution is going to come out. Here, the last stage is like that, but the last stage is 50 laps, and it's just not as random, or it's just very simple in terms of strategy. So there's two sides of the coin here. And it's just really, I don't know, for me, it's really frustrating to see that William Byron, I think, had a solid chance to win today. And because of where he is in the point standings, and because they wanted to play it safe, and also with where they finished, didn't really end up helping them really at all, but they went for the stage points. They did not try to set themselves up for the end of the race in both stages, and it cost them. And that's really frustrating, that if you want to get a stage win, you have to sacrifice winning the race. You know what I mean? The point of doing this race is to win. That's the point. On the other hand, you could just give up the points. There's the option there. So, I don't know. I guess having the option is nice, and this is something I want you guys to talk about and leave your opinions down below. Do you like having the option to prefer the stage points and then give up the race win, or should the end goal be we should go for the race win? Isn't that why we have this stupid playoff format that prioritizes wins so much? The whole motive of NASCAR has been you go for the race win, but in certain instances when a certain driver is leading at a stage or at a road course in stage racing, it's just like, what the heck? If we took stage racing out of this, then you would have the 2 and 3 stop strategies. It'd be all over the place, and wherever the caution came out could really determine the race, and I think that's a lot more entertaining, at least in my opinion. But it's just, I don't know, I found it frustrating that, Knaus decided to do that as Byron's crew chief. And it's just that points don't matter right now, to be honest. I mean, William Byron, Jimmy Johnson, those guys, Alex Bowman, Eric Jones, those guys around that cutoff line, I guess, yes, it matters. But in the first case, like in the first situation, though, is that too many drivers get into the playoffs anyway. 16 drivers is too much. So it's just, we're not focused on point standings. I mean, I could not even tell you the regular season point standings right now because, one, we never cover it in the sport itself. Two, it's not important. It really isn't. It's just, you kind of just wait to get to the playoffs. So prioritizing these points and seeing someone sacrifice a win for a race, that's hard for me. I understand it completely. I'm not complaining either. I'm just saying, it's hard. Yeah, I really wanted to see William Byron maybe compete for a win. I thought he had the car to win. I think he passed a lot of guys. Him and Denny Hamlin passed the most cars today with their strategies. And, they ended up, Denny Hamlin got up to 5th, but William Byron wasn't able to get up any further than that. So that's frustrating. So we have the stage strategy, right? So William Byron pits. He doesn't lead a single lap after that. And Truex and Chase Elliott are playing the game that you should play when you want to win the race, which is you pit with 2 to go, and you just come out and wait for everyone else to pit at the caution flag. So that's what they did. And when Truex got the lead in stage 2, he never looked back. He led the entire race from that point on. Chase Elliott couldn't really get up to him. Kyle Busch tried to get to him and was the next best contender. Elliott ended up blowing an engine in the final stage, and then it really was a two-man show for the entire third stage. Everyone else was literally 25 seconds behind the leader. I'm not even kidding. If you look at the race results, Ryan Blaney, who finished 3rd, ended up 33 seconds behind Martin Truex Jr. He ended up a third of a lap down. Like, holy crap, 3rd place. Just shows you how good Truex and Kyle Busch were, and they just had those JGR cars were on rails. Oh yeah, who won stage 2? Denny Hamlin. Because Denny Hamlin's going for regular season points, I think, and I don't even know the regular season points look like, because every time we go to the point standings, we don't see what regular season points look like. We only see the guys who won and then everyone else who didn't win. Again, the point standings in NASCAR are absolutely atrocious, makes no sense. So Denny Hamlin gave up his chances to win the race because he wanted stage points and points overall. And when it came to the end of the race, it was 1v1. It was Kyle Busch versus Martin Truex Jr. And I found it entertaining. I don't know about you guys. I'm assuming some people, a good amount of people actually, probably didn't like how that race went for many reasons. Usually when Kyle Busch and Martin Truex Jr. are racing, a lot of people don't like the race because I guess a lot of people aren't Truex and Kyle Busch fans. I don't know, just two guys that don't have the biggest fan bases. So I guess that plays a part in it. But it literally was only the two of them. There was no one else in the race, really, for the race win. But I found it entertaining for the same reason that I found Monaco in Formula 1 entertaining this year, there was something building up. Kyle Busch running down Truex, and you knew he would get to a certain point, but the question would be, would he be able to catch him and pass him? And so those last 15 laps was all about, just a little inch there, the 10th there, 10th here. And that's really good racing. That's the racing that I love. That's why I watch NASCAR. I watch to see one guy try to run another guy down, and every inch matters, and every little bit of skill, every little bit of how hard you go on the brakes and how much throttle you can put into it, and controlling the wheel spin and everything, controlling these cars. That's why I love NASCAR. That's why I love old school racetracks at mile and a half like Atlanta and Darlington and tracks like that, because you can get that kind of racing where you're just trying to run someone down and then you gotta pass them. And so we got that today. It would have been better, obviously, if Kyle Busch got to Truex. It didn't happen. We don't get the best races all the time, the best finishes all the time. It would have been great to send Taylor Waltrip off on the good note with an amazing side-by-side, beating and banging to the line road course Sonoma race, but we didn't get that. Just because Kyle Busch couldn't get there. He got to 1 second behind Truex, but he couldn't get to the back bumper. So Martin Truex Jr. wins at Sonoma. And let's go to the race results. Truex, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Matt DiBenedetto, I will get to him in a second, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, Eric Jones, Eric Almirola, and Kyle Larson rounded the top 10, with Clint Bowyer, Jimmy Johnson, Kurt Busch, Alex Bowman, Daniel Hemrick, Chris Buescher, Daniel Suarez, Brad Keselowski, William Byron, and David Reagan rounding out the top 20. Alright, so I think we've talked about Truex and Kyle Busch. Truex, amazing drive, did a really good job. Kyle Busch tried running him down, couldn't get to the back bumper, but those two were the class of the field. Ryan Blaney did the best he can, 33 seconds behind the leader, ends up in 3rd place. A good run for him. Those three guys, including Chase Elliott, who he was running up there but blew an engine. That's why he's way down the field in results. But those 4 guys have been really good at road courses for the past year and a half. So no surprise to see those guys up there. Matt DiBenedetto. If William Byron finished a little bit higher, I would have named William Byron driver of the day. But Matt DiBenedetto is your driver of the day. Amazing run. See the camera a little bit. Amazing run. He did a great job. I think there are a lot of people. You guys know me. I love when drivers in not the best equipment. I know that 95 has a JGR Alliance, but still, it's not a top ride. I love when those guys can come out and put on a show with their talent. There is no coincidence that the racetrack and the car that requires talent, that requires the driver skill, everything that comes with it, no surprise whatsoever that Matt DiBenedetto is running up towards the front. I think in modern day NASCAR, you're seeing it more and more that the guys with the most talent do well at road courses. There's no longer that road course specialist or road course ringer anymore. It's mainly just you see the most talented drivers do well at road courses. So right now, I mean, two of my favorite drivers in the sport. I don't watch a lot of Xfinity and Truck Series because I don't want to watch those on those certain nights. But two of my favorite drivers right now in the sport are Matt DiBenedetto and Ross Chastain, because I think all of us know just how good those guys are, especially Ross Chastain, what he's doing in the Truck Series with Nice Motorsports. Every time he jumps into an Xfinity Series car, he's freaking out competing for wins. He is a sick racer. Him, DiBenedetto, Stuart Friesen, all these guys are sick racers. They're really, really good. And it's good to have a story to root for. You know, have someone to root for, so maybe they can get to the top. They don't have daddy's money. They have to work their way to the top. And they have to do the best they can. So I'm really glad that those guys are doing well, and hopefully they can keep it up. Denny Hamlin, he did the stage racing, stage point kind of strategy to get as many points as possible, and he did much better than William Byron being able to get through the field. He finishes in 5th place. Good run for him. Kevin Harvick, a quiet 6th place. Has not been the best season for him, but it's been one of the first races where he hasn't had pit road issues or some stupid penalty or something stupid happening to him. Just had a quiet run, gets a nice 6th place finish, but still not where that team should be. Ryan Newman had a Ryan Newman race. He fought hard and he did really well to finish 7th place. So good job to him. Eric Jones started at the back because of the cut tire with qualifying, was able to get up to 8th. Good run for him. Eric Almirola had a few incidents somewhere around there and fought his way back to 9th. So good run to him in the final stage, should be able to get back up there. And Kyle Larson, who was the pole sitter, who dropped back early on, which was expected because every time he qualifies on pole at this track, he falls back. It's not because of him, it's because of the setup that Ganassi give him. Some sort of the setup that they have in that car is really good for one lap, but they struggle there towards the end or on the tires. So good job for him to fight back to 10th place. Clint Bowyer had a pretty quiet day, to be honest. I didn't really see much from him. He had I think he had some sort of uncontrolled tire, or he had a loose wheel or something. He had an unscheduled pit stop there in late in the race, or in middle of the race, but he was able to fight his way back up to 11th place. So good on him. Jimmy Johnson was running in 4th or 5th with only like 10 laps to go, but the tires, he pitted early, the way his strategy was working, so the tires fell off quick. So guys who pitted a little bit later were able to get to him. Finishes in 12th place. Kurt Busch, Alex Bowman, Daniel Hemrick. Not much to say on these three guys. Kind of just chilled midfield most of the day. Chris Buescher had a decent run. Probably could have finished a little bit higher, but same thing with pit strategy, just pitting a little bit early. The tires were off. Daniel Suarez did a good job to actually fight back to 17th place. He should have finished much higher, was running around the top 5 area, but had I think it was a pit penalty, uncontrolled tire. So he had that mistake on his final pit stop, so he finishes in 17th. Brad Keselowski, really quiet day, nothing really much to say about Keselowski. William Byron, probably the most disappointing finish of the day. I think he could have competed for the win if he kept his track position, but Chad Canales had other plans and wanted him to get the stage points, which he did. However, with where he finished, he pretty much gave all those stage points back. Let's take the 10 points from stage 1 that he would have given up. That puts him into 9th place. And then we have the, 8 points, 9 points from stage 2. So was it really that much of a gain? Let's say if he played the strategy that Truex and all those other guys did, I don't think he would have fallen back that far. Let's say he finishes 4th or 5th, okay? Let's give him that. I don't think he would have finished 33 seconds behind the leader if he kept his track position. So let's say he finishes 4th or 5th. Then he would have given up, 2 total points? You do 10 plus 8. And then you take 19th to 4th. You give up 3 to 4 points in total when you combine everything. So it didn't work out. In hindsight, yes, I could say, but even at the moment, I did not agree with that decision. I do not agree going with the points when you have a chance to win. You have a good chance to win when you had a car that good. He was making his way through the field. It's just the pit strategy when they pitted, and then he had to fight really hard in the pack, and the tires wore out. And I feel like it also, what's really important is the driver that you have. If you have someone like Truex or Kyle Busch that have so much experience going through the pack, yeah, maybe you can run for your stage points and then trust them to get back through the field. But even their crew chiefs know it's not going to happen, so they make sure they keep the track position. But for someone like William Byron, who has shown this season that he qualifies really well, he's really good out in front by himself. Maybe when he gets back in traffic later on in the race, he struggles a little bit. It's because he doesn't have that experience. So you shouldn't be putting him back in the pack and giving up that track position and asking him to do something he's not experienced at yet. Maybe 5 years from now when he's more experienced and a much better race car driver, maybe, yes, you can ask him to run through the field. Trust your driver. That I know you can pass these guys. Go and do it. But right now, I think he should have kept the track position and given him a chance to win his first race, and it just didn't happen. David Reagan in 20th. not much to say. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 21st. Paul Menard, Joey Logano, Austin Dillon, Michael McDowell. I don't know exactly why Joey Logano's back here. I think it was because battery issues. He had some battery issues, and that plagued him throughout the entire race, so that frustrated him. Austin Dillon, Michael McDowell, Bubba Wallace. Bubba didn't really wreck, so that's good. Bubba Wallace is not the best at road courses, so he has to get better there. Ty Dillon, Tift, Priest, Kligerman, Castle, LaJoy, Chastain, Haley, Sorensen, Ware, Chase Elliott in 37th. Again, with the blown engine, he was running third or to fourth before that happened. It happened right during the final pit stop cycle with 30 laps to go, and JJ Yeley rounds out the results. So again, really good race. I enjoyed it, 8 out of 10. I don't know if you guys did. I enjoyed the same reason why I enjoyed Monaco, that climax, the battle of Verstappen, maybe trying to get around Hamilton, but never did happen. This is kind of the same thing. You had that anticipation, but it never did happen. But it's okay. I think we all are in agreement that road courses are awesome, and it was just nice to see the drivers have to work hard. So that was really good. And I think we'll see them again have to work hard at Chicagoland, because I don't think, even with the lower horsepower, I don't think they're going to be able to go hold it wide open that much. I think that's going to be much more like the Atlanta style of race. I don't know if it's going to be a great entertaining race, but it will require drivers to showcase that skill gap. So hopefully that happens, and we don't get that much more anymore. So the next short track is what? August? Is it Bristol? So it's a while till that one. So yeah, you can tell I'm not a fan of the full throttle at 1.5 mile or 2 mile tracks. If you guys like the video, make sure to like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Go check out what is on the channel already. Comment down below what your thoughts are on the race, and I will see you guys later. Quick side note, if you are going to Daytona in 2 weeks, I will be there, so hopefully I'll see you guys some of there. Daytona is, I think, my favorite track to visit. I've been to Homestead, and I haven't been to many tracks. I've only been to Homestead and Daytona. But Daytona it's a nice track. So I'll be there in 2 weeks. Hopefully I see you guys some of you guys there. That'd be fantastic. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. I'll be having a great day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace out.